Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here so promptly. We'll now call the meeting to order. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Girdler.
Here.
Senator Maiden. Senator Thomas.
Here.
Representative Petrie.
Here.
Representative Stalker.
Present.
Representative Thomas.
Present.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Here.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Present. I do believe we have quorum. Great. So we have quorum, and at that, do I have a motion and a second to approve the September meeting minutes?
Motion.
A motion by Chair McPherson. A second by Rep. Thomas. Any members object? Okay. I believe those by motion and second, those minutes are approved. Catherine, will you please report information items?
There are 10 information items to report. Pursuant to KRS 26A1681, KRS 45793, and KRS 45818, the Administrative Office of the Courts, the Finance and Administration Cabinet with the Commonwealth Office of Technology reporting independently, and post-secondary institutions managing their own capital construction under KRS 164A580 transmitted quarterly capital project status reports. Pursuant to KRS 45760 sub 5, UK and U of L reported equipment purchases. Pursuant to KRS 45760 sub 6, UK reported the use of private funds rather than restricted funds for its improved Memorial Coliseum capital project. Pursuant to KRS 45769, the judicial and executive branches, as well as post-secondary institutions managing their own capital construction under KRS 164A580, transmitted annual capital projects reports. Pursuant to KRS 45810-6, the Office of Financial Management transmitted its annual report of outstanding debt on behalf of state debt issuing authorities, including post-secondary institutions. Pursuant to KRS 45812 sub 1, through their fiscal agents, 7 school districts, none of which needed additional tax levies to pay debt service, reported upcoming revenue bond issues to finance new projects. The school districts were Beechwood Independent in Kenton County, Carlisle County, Grant County, Greenup County, Jackson County, Kenton County, and Nelson County. Pursuant to KRS 45A180 sub 2, UK reported its intent to use a construction management at risk project delivery method to renovate Kroger Field's corner suites and elevators. The project scope is $13 million with a $9.1 million construction budget. Pursuant to KRS 5686311, the Kentucky Asset Liability Commission transmitted its semi-annual report for the Office of Financial Management. Pursuant to KRS 654931 sub 3, the Louisville Arena Authority reported its operations and financial condition to the committee. And finally, pursuant to House Bill 6, UK and KCTCS reported asset preservation projects.
Thank you, Catherine. I wanted to note for the committee that item number I, carried 65.49031.3, the Louisville Arena Authority report, it is a bit voluminous. It's in your binder printed, but they will be here in December in person to testify. So you may have a few more thoughts or questions, but just be prepared at that point to dig in a little deeper if you would like. Okay, agenda item number 4, the lease report from the Finance and Administrative Cabinet. I believe Natalie is here to present remotely. Natalie, you may take the floor.
Thank you so much. Again, my name is Natalie Bronner, and I'm the Director of the Division of Real Properties. The first item I'm reporting today, and may I be clear, did we want to roll these or you want me to do them separately?
Yes, Natalie, we will roll those unless any member objects. And I think we had no objections. So we will roll those for one vote. Thank you, Natalie. You may proceed.
Thank you so much. Again, the first item I'm reporting today is PR 5912, which is a temporary lease for the Cabinet for Health and Family Services Department for Community-Based Services. This lease is the result of the agency expressing its need for temporary replacement space due to significant ongoing maintenance and safety issues over the past several years in its existing lease under PR 3083. Discussions have occurred with the local government concerning permanent replacement space, and an advertised project is currently pending. But until a permanent solution is determined, the agency requested a search for move-in ready temporary space in the closest zip codes. Multiple sites in zip codes 40229, which are Hillview and Louisville, and 40165, Shepherdsville, were reviewed, and the agency is requested to proceed with the property located at 5111 Commerce Crossing Drive, Louisville, Kentucky 40229 and Suite 106. This site is the same zip code and located 10 miles away of the existing location. Pursuant to applicable provisions of KRS 45A-095, the temporary lease agreement provides for the use of 16,505 square feet at a rate of $15.75 per square foot, which is $259,953.76 annually, excluding all utilities and janitorial services, with a term expiring June 30th, 2027. Given the new temporary lease exceeds $200,000, the lease is being reported to the committee. The next lease I'm reporting is PR 5886 in Hardin County for the Department of Juvenile Justice, which resulted from the competitive bid process outlined in KRS 56803. With one proposal received, the agency has recommended acceptance as submitted by K&B Properties E-Town LLC. The proposed lease is for 11,781 square feet of office space at a rental rate of $14.23 per square foot, excluding utilities and janitorial services, which is $167,643.64 annually through June 30th, 2030. This lease is being reported pursuant to KRS 56.823.2 since the annual cost exceeds $100,000. The last item I'm reporting today is the same terms lease renewal for PR 4435 in Warren County for 9,316 square feet at $11.50 per square foot, or $107,134 annually through June 30th, 2027. This lease is being reported pursuant to KRS 56.823.2 since the lease cost exceeds $100,000. Any questions on those?
Any members have any questions? Natalie, I just wanted to jump into the lease in Hardin County. Mm-hmm. That one really stood out to me, and I puzzled through just a bit because it's going from $9 per square foot, leaping maybe more than 50% to $14.23. And how are those RFPs written that even perhaps we only had one respondent, the current location?
So, and just let me add to the current location, that lease began in June of 2002. So it's been in place for a very long time without a rate increase, and actually was subject to a decrease along the way. So, and the county average there right now is $11.69, but we're seeing higher trends in that area as far as the per square foot rate. But to answer your question, the advertisement goes out for the space that's required, and it's advertised publicly, and responses are received. In this case, it was the existing lessor. And so they're advertised, and then it goes through the 803 competitive process. Did I answer your question, or can I be more clear for you?
Well, I'm thinking about a more broad geography, if that's an option. Even the final lease that we just reviewed is in Bowling Green, Warren County, not entirely that long of a distance, but it's $11.50, yet an area that you might even expect rents to be higher, but in fact it's substantially lower as a percentage. And then it's notated to us that the last renewal is 2017, though that's truly not that long ago, at $9.05 per square foot. and we've seen more availability or available space as people are moving out of these office buildings. So I just somehow imagine we would be more competitive. So wondering if the RFP were written in such a narrow way that it minimized those that believed they were even eligible, so we didn't get anyone else to submit.
Well, we do write those very broadly when they are advertised for the area. Now, it would identify the county in which we would want to be located, but it simply just suggests the amount of square feet that's needed. It does seem like it has been more difficult in the Hardin County area to locate space, I will say.
And forgive me, Natalie, I'm pressing. I just don't fully grasp. Does DJJ, is it a must for Hardin County? Or is there not? Is DJJ on with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Would
Nathan
you
Dyer.
please-
I'm Nathan Dyer, the branch manager for construction and real properties for juvenile justice. In the case of Hardin County, it's a day treatment, so we have to factor in, excuse me, the busing for the resident or the children, and we have to make certain accommodations because it is an alternative school. So we ran into similar situations in Owensboro with our day treatment because of the type of program it is. So we can't just rent an office space because it's actually a school. So that's the caveat to why we have to be, and we put all those criteria in our space request. And the only one that actually that bid on it was the current owner, but it's a very specific space request because it is an alternative school, and a lot of people don't really want to undergo renting an alternative school to the Commonwealth. Did that answer your question?
It does, and I thank you for being available for us. Are there more broad provisions we could consider, so perhaps we could put a little more pressure on the lessor and give us a more reasonable rate for the sake of our taxpayer? I mean, we're doubling, or we're nearly doubling what we'll be paying.
It's kind of difficult to get more broad because of the type of program that's run in that location. Like I could say, it's an alternative school. So think about if you had a public high school and you want to lease a new public high school, it's kind of that same parameter where you have to be able to factor in, is there public transportation? Is a bus to go there? Can parents get there for visits, for counseling with the teachers, and we have to factor in because we have Hardin County school teachers there as part of that program, so it all kind of ties in together. So, like I say, we ran into the same situation in Owensboro when we moved from a state-owned day treatment to the one for the county because it was so very specific in the scope of the program.
I'm really
we can look
appreciative.
Into see if there's ways we can do that.
Any other questions? Yes, Senator Thomas.
This is, with whom am I speaking? This is Mr.
Dyer, Nathan Dyer.
Yeah, Mr. Dyer.
I'm the branch manager for
Yeah,
Construction
Mr. Dyer.
Properties.
Mr. Dyer, this is Senator Thomas. I'm just curious as to why you're suggesting that the rental cost for a alternative public school is going to be more problematic than a regular school, because I basically just have Fayette County as a reference point. You have the entire state, but in Fayette County, we haven't seen that kind of differential in terms of construction costs, capital costs, resource costs between alternative schools and regular schools. As a matter of fact, what we've seen is that the incidence report in our alternative schools is certainly no different than what we see in our regular public schools. Not that we have a high incidence of a bad behavior or assaults or anything like that. But are you telling me that that's different in Hardin County, or you see that differently across the state?
across the state, sir. Like I say, I ran into this when we had to get a new lease for Owensboro for their day treatment program, which is an alternative school. And it comes down from what I can surmise is no one willing to want to lease because it's a school, because it's an alternative school. You know, there's not really, they're not like bad kids. It's not a high crime area, but it's more the fact that, you know, we put the space request out to accommodate for vocational projects and for learning. We have one in Ashland. It's kind of the same thing, but we've, again, like Natalie said, we've been the one in Ashland for probably 18 years, and we've never had a rate increase because we've stayed there. In Hardin County, it seemed like they were requesting a rate increase, but I think the last time we did a rate increase was in 2002. So you've gone several decades at that same rate. So from my experience with our alternative schools, our day treatments, everyone I've had to renegotiate, we've always run into higher rates because no one wants to hit the space request. They don't want to bid on building out or providing a space for a day treatment.
Madam Chairman, one other follow-up question, please. Yes, please. Okay. Well, Mr. Dyer, now I'm even more confused. If it's not bad behavior, if it's not an incidence of crime, then there's got to be something going on here. Are they seeing more property damage? Are they seeing an impact on property values in the neighborhoods near the school? I mean, there's got to be something that would drive up the cost here.
This would only be an assumption on my part, but I assume it's the perception when you say day treatment or alternative school that it is problematic children, which they have not functioned well in public school. That's why they're in a day treatment, an alternative school. But you know, there's not armed guards per se at these locations. There's the same school resource officer we have at every other school there. So one can only assume the perception from people that we request to bid on these properties, assume it's an alternative school, so it must be bad kids. So we've not had the instances of destruction of property or vandalism or anything like that I could tell, but it's just we've always had issues with people wanting to bid on these types of properties.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that answer, Mr. Dyer. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other members with questions? Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to dig into this a little further. With that, do I have a motion and a second to approve? Okay, page 5. Was that Representative Thomas? Thank you. And a second? And Co-Chair McPherson? Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Girdler. Aye. Senator Maiden. Senator Thomas. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker.
Yes.
Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Yes. Thank you. These new leases and the lease renewal were approved. Thank you, Mrs. Bronner.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry I didn't write your name down and I forgot already. Forgive me.
It's Nathan Dyer.
Thank you, Nathan Dyer. Okay, so next we do have Kylie Palmer here in person to present agenda item number 4A. These are 7 economic development grants requiring action. Do I have a motion and a second to roll the 7 EDF grants into one roll call vote? A motion by Senator Girdler and a second. Thank you. A second by Representative Stalker. Great. Mrs. Palmer, you may begin.
Hi there. Good
to see you.
afternoon. I'm Kylie Palmer, Deputy Commissioner for the Department for Financial Services. And as you mentioned, we have 7 projects. The first 4 are EDF, and then the last 3 are KPDI EDF. So I'll try to keep the acronym correct. First, we have Allen County Scottsville Industrial Development Authority on behalf of the City of Scottsville. They were approved by KEDFA for a $2 million EDF grant. The grant funds will be used to cover the cost of expanding the natural gas infrastructure to serve the Allen Springs Industrial Park. Funds may be drawn down immediately upon approval of the project plan and the timeline of anticipated expenditures. And forgiveness and repayment provisions were included in their agreement if the outlined criteria is not met as defined by the annual compliance dates. Next, we have Big Sandy Area Development District on behalf of the Weddington Plaza Partners. They were approved by KEDFA for a $250,000 EDF grant. The grant funds for this project will be used towards the flood wall repair and the needed electrical work to restore the plaza after the devastating floods in February earlier this year. The project's anticipated investment for this restoration and renovation project is approximately $5.8 million. Funds will be dispersed on a reimbursement basis with submission of invoices, proof of payment, and a progress report. And the project is on a performance-based grant with annual performance grant requirements. The next project is the City of Owensboro on behalf of the Ms. Can America, Inc., approved by KEDFA for a $500,000 EDF grant. The grant funds will be used for the expansion of its Owensboro manufacturing facility to best meet the current and future needs of its customers while maintaining its position as a market leader. The project's anticipated investment for this expansion project is approximately $157 million. A letter of credit is provided as collateral for the project, and funds will be dispersed on a reimbursement basis. Repayment provisions were included if the company fails to create and maintain the outlined jobs and or fails to pay the required wages as defined in the annual compliance dates. The Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government on behalf of Anthro Energy, Inc. was approved by KEDFA for a $750,000 EDF grant. Grant funds will be used to establish a new manufacturing facility in Louisville that will focus on advanced electrolyte production. The project's anticipated investment for this expansion project is $38.6 million, is also a performance-based grant, and disbursements will occur until after the annual compliance is confirmed. Provisions were included if the company fails to create and maintain the outlined jobs or fails to pay the required wages as defined by the annual compliance dates. The next three are our KPDI projects for consideration. City of Henderson on behalf of Henderson County Economic Development Corporation, approved for a project with a potential investment of $127,800. Project will conduct a due diligence study on 60 acres of land that's located off of 425 bypass in Henderson. The required local match for this project is 15% and is provided by the city, with the project approved by KEDFA for an $88,000 KPDI EDF grant. Next, the City of Paducah on behalf of the Paducah-McCracken County Industrial Development Authority, approved by KEDFA for a $2 million KPDI EDF grant to construct a 100,000 square foot spec building in the Industrial Park West, located in the heart of McCracken County. The required local match participation for this project is 17.5%. Matching funds are provided by the city, and the total potential investment for this project is $8 million. Last project for consideration is the Northern Kentucky Area Development District on behalf of the City of Carrollton, approved for a project with a potential investment of approximately $4.2 million. This project is seeking funding to support for a natural gas extension to the River Bend project site from the existing gas line on Lock Road. In addition, funds will also be used to extend the water line to increase capacity there at the project site. This is a regional project with support from both Carroll and Trimble counties. The city will participate in providing the required 13.75% local match, and the project was approved by KEDFA for $3,768,942. The three KPDI EDF grant projects were presented today were identified by the independent site selection consultant as having a potential for a future investment or a location of an economic development project. The 4 EDF grants and the 3 KPDI EDF grants were all recommended by Secretary Knoll, and we have a signed concurrence letter by Secretary Johnson. All projects were presented and approved by KEDFA on September 25th and were presented earlier today to State Prop and Building Commissions. Thank you.
Great. Does any members have any questions? See a lot of digging in to some detail. All right. Seeing no further questions, do I have a motion and a second to approve the 7 EDF grants? Forgive me.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Senator Thomas, do I have a second? A second from Chair McPherson. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Girdler. Senator Maiden. Senator Thomas. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker.
Yes.
Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Yes. The 7 EDF grants are approved. Thank you, Ms. Palmer.
Thank you.
Great. So our next item on the agenda, I believe Ms. Chelsea Couch is back in strength, though we get her remote today.
Yes.
And she will be touching on agenda items number 5B and 5C, a new debt issue, and 5 SFCC debt issues requiring action. Ms. Couch, please begin with the new debt issue. After we vote on those, we'll make a motion to roll the 5 SFCC debt issues into one roll call vote. Thank you, Chelsea.
Okay. First one for.
I'm sorry, would
guys-
you introduce yourself for the record first?
I'm sorry, I'm Chelsea Couch. I'm the director of OFN. The first issue to look at today is the Kentucky Housing Corporation. It's a multifamily housing revenue bonds in 3 series, approximately $43 million, approximately 233 units in Louisville. This is a conduit issuance, so the bonds will not be KHC or Commonwealth debt, but that is put for approval.
Members with questions? All right. See no further questions. Do I have a motion and a second? A motion by Senator Girdler. And a second? By Rep. Thomas. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Girdler. Senator Maiden. Senator Thomas. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker.
Yes.
Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Yes. The new debt issue was approved. Before we go on to the 5 SFCC grants, do I have a motion and a second to roll them into one roll call vote? A motion by Senator Girdler? I thought I saw your motion. And Representative Stalker, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Does any member object? Ms. Couch, please begin.
I have 2 new money issuances for SFCC, the first being Edmonson County, $24.7 million. It looks like they're building a new elementary school building. Average annual debt service payment for the state will be $75,000, and the overall participation on that is 4%. Next, I have Knox County, $975,000, middle school gym improvements, and that is 100% state funded. I have 3 refinancings. Callaway County for just over $4 million, refunding the 2013 bonds. It looks like 3.4% in savings, approximately $147,000. Next, Hardin County, $16.9 million, refund the 2016 bonds, approximately $270,000 in savings on that one. And then I have McCracken County, $22.5 million, refunding the 2014 bonds, approximately $635,000 in savings.
Thank you, Chelsea. Do we have any questions from members? I think notable is there has been some new SFCC guidelines regarding the current refundings. They require at least a 3% net present value savings. We're not quite there on 2 of these. What's your thoughts on that, Chelsea?
I do not know the rules they have in place. That's for their agency, but that's something I can get back to you on.
Yeah,
I know it's a 3% or something threshold, but I'm not sure what the other threshold is that they have to meet.
Okay, market conditions may change for Hardin and McCracken to meet the savings requirement. Though I love saving money, but there could be even some lower interest rates coming. So this is interesting. Okay, any other members? with questions? Okay. Do we have a motion and a second to approve? Okay. A motion by Representative Thomas and a second by Chair McPherson. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Girdler. Senator Maiden. Senator Thomas. Representative Petrie.
If I may, Ms. Chair, I'll vote no on this because I think there is an issue about whether they're all rolled together, so it's either a yes or no on all of them. There's an issue about whether we're focusing on educational space versus other spaces, as well as is it warranted to refinance? Are we getting a good ROI back? Thank you.
Representative Stalker.
Yes.
Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
I'm going to have to vote no, and I do appreciate further clarity on that, Representative Petrie. Though with that, I think there are 5 yeses and 2 nos. So that does, those 5 SFCC debt issues were approved. Thank you, Ms. Couch.
Thank you.
So our next item is item number 6, the remaining calendar. We did have to make a few adjustments, but if you would, I think Senator Girdler promised to bring some sort of a turkey-based cookie or something delicious for November 20th, and that is a noon on November 20th. Chair McPherson has got my back. I've got a fantastic opportunity with my 15-year-old daughter that I can't resist, so I'll miss that. And then December 16th, we were able to get the Yum Arena folks here, and they will be presenting. So looking forward to December 16th at 3 p.m., and Representative McPherson, Chair McPherson, will lead that meeting as well.
I have a request, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
You know, this book is awful thick from the Yum Center, and I'd like for Chairman McPherson to study that real well over the next month and report back to us himself so that we'll know what we're dealing with.
So acknowledged. Representative Thomas? Or Senator Thomas, I'm sorry.
Yes, Madam Chair. The November meeting then is going to be on a Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It is at noon. Yeah,
Be here. I don't know if we can eat
it is Thursday at noon, but for the record, Thanksgiving is a week later. So we gotta. Hey, I'm a poultry girl. We've got to square up our calendars, people. Absolutely. Okay, and then December 16th. So, on that note, any other questions for the good of the order? We are adjourned.